It's the first ever music association in the UAE.
Which role do you give in your music for the Oriental instruments?
We need to feel that we are related to an entity, to an association.
We all saw that you just came from USA, Los Angeles, from a concert called Pictures at Exhibition,
That's correct.
which reminds me directly to the great suite written by Modest Mussorgsky. But here, about those pictures at exhibition, what it is, like what just happened in LA?
Well, basically, it was an amazing journey there in LA. So this is a project, as you mentioned, paintings at an exhibition. So this is about Bob Peaks, the famous painter, from USA. He used to paint, the posters of the movies and other famous posters before. So so to cherish his, because he left us like a long time ago, and we want to bring his memory back. So we created this concert, Robert Townsend's productions and Abu Dhabi Festival's productions together, and they chose 10 composers from the film blockbuster composer from Hollywood, and they chose me from Abu Dhabi to actually to create compositions. So each composer being assigned with a poster, with a painting of Bob Peaks, paintings, and we need to create and compose, music for it. So that was the idea, and my part was to compose a piece for the Formula One. So I have to create like sort of a story, a narrative of this music. The story of the driver, starting from Monza, Italy. It is one of the fastest tracks, the fastest and the most dangerous tracks maybe in the world, and it's named Curva Grande. So I have to create a piece where I have to showcase or to give a story of this driver, from Monza, Italy, starting the race, going into the high adrenaline kind of excitement, racing, having the drama, the accident, picking himself again and rise again and continuing the race until victory. So it was like the story of the driver, based on an article that's been written by Stewart, I forgot the other name. So basically, yeah, that was the story of my piece, and I have to create the sounds of the engine and the gear change of
That you did as well.
Yeah, I have to create it and compose it using the organic sounds of the orchestra.
So you didn't use electronic
No,
sound,
not
it was
electronics.
all natural,
organic, all
woodwinds, violins, and etc.
Yeah, I have to rely on the pitches of the trumpets and the trombones. I have to rely on the tremolos of and the glisses of strings and stuff to create these kind of sounds that gives you the feeling that you are racing in a car, and you feel the engine power, when you start the race, and when you hear the sound of this car passing by from one side to the other. So that was the effects that I managed to create through this piece.
Where or when we can hear this? Because I guess it was your premiere.
That's correct.
There, and if there is some recordings that we can see in YouTube or somewhere else.
Yes. Now you are right. It's been premiered by Disney Hall, and we've done the recording at Fox Studios in LA. It's still now in the mixing process, and hopefully it will be streamed, and it will be actually distributed among all digital platforms very soon. I don't know exactly the date, but it should be very soon. And we're gonna announce it on all my digital platforms, on my YouTube channel, and even on the festival's channel. So you can have a listen.
So, and all these pictures, of course, were like integrated with the music at that concert.
Yes, exactly. So what the thing is that the picture or the painting will be showcased, behind the orchestra, and the orchestra will
In
be
the big
performing.
screen,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Okay.
And we have Leonard Slatkin, the conductor. The maestro. He conducted the full performance and the full. Yeah, exactly. So it was like a beautiful and a great experience actually. And this is like another milestone I feel that I achieved in my career.
If we come back a little bit to your childhood, you started to do music at 10 years
Age
old?
of 10.
10 years old.
That's correct.
What was your first memory? Like, how did you meet music in your life? Why you decided to bring this field into your life?
Well, actually, yes, I mentioned that before in many interviews, but definitely I'd like to say it again. I mean, the inspiration was my mother. I mean, she used to love music. She's not a professional. She in playing piano, but she used to love, and she used to play like couple or three melodies that she loved.
She was doing this for herself, for the
For herself,
family.
yeah, for the family.
Yes.
And I was by the age of 10 when I started actually listening and loving to hear what she's playing, and I wanted to learn one of the pieces. So she managed to teach me, or yeah, the piece which is for the Godfather's melody, and I managed to pick it up very quickly. And this is what I realized, that whatever I hear, I can play on the spot, like without or scores or notations or whatever. So I've managed to play everything by ear. Um, I learned this piece. I fell in love with music. I started even playing more pieces, from Lebanese composers, from international composers, and I grew up with this passion. When I joined the school, my family introduced me to the music teacher at the school, and I joined the band, and I used to play on daily basis the national anthem on the accordion and sometimes on the keyboard. So I started even to be more attached in the music, by performing with events, school events. You know what I mean? So that was my story since I was a child, and I used to love a lot of Japanese manga music, and so attached to film music, since very young age. That made me, get to love music even more, because more on the instrumental side.
And you said that you were attached for the movie music, so you like it to
Yes,
compose in a
yes,
style of like epic
yes,
Hollywood movies or some
exactly.
lyrical. So
Yes,
yeah, and
exactly.
even your first piece that you learned, it was from the movie, right? The Godfather.
The Godfather. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I have this attachment since I was a kid, and it grew with me. It grew really very strong. Yeah, and when I finished university, I came back to Abu Dhabi. I started working. I'm a digital artist as well. I'm into communication, creative, and digital art. So I do a lot of brands, the visual kind of brands, and this helped me a lot to when I utilize both skills, which is branding and the visual skills with the music. I managed I managed to create a strong bond between
So it's
them.
like you are using two kind of art to
Exactly,
to
together.
create something.
Exactly.
How do you use that skills and that instrument, for example,
Yes.
in order to prepare a concert?
So basically, I'll give you an example. So when I've been assigned with this Bob Peaks composition, which is the Curva Grande, I use this kind of skills. So what I usually do, I open my Illustrator. The first thing I do, and I start creating a story on my own, but creating the story with visuals. So I put the pictures and I create visuals. It's like scenes, and then on each scene I create a storyline. So it's like a movie, kind of movie directing. So when I create this, let's say this particular step, then I start composing. I compose on top of what I see. So this helps me a lot to visualize the music first, and then create my composition and my music.
And
So
I
yeah.
saw that you designed your own studio, which is called State of the Art Home Studio,
Right,
held
right,
by the company which is Artwish, right?
right,
Which
right.
is comes
So
from your family
yes,
name,
yes, that's correct.
Wish for the art.
That's correct. That's correct. So yes, I established my company, which is called Artwish Music and Events, and as you mentioned, so it's an art wish, which is an art and a wish for art, but at the same time derived from the word Darwish, which is my family name. So it's kind of combined. And yeah, what I meant by the state of the art is like I brought like latest technologies, instruments, machinery, and some music libraries, and I created my own humble studios that I create all my music in. Most of the time, like whenever I need to compose, I have to work there in my studio. You know, I have a keyboard, I have my computer, everything is connected, so I compose using Cubase and these kind of softwares. When I start layering all the instruments and using all the music libraries and compose. So yeah, I use my studio.
So, and you said that you have like latest technology, musical instruments, which I guess it's some electronic instruments, right?
Yes.
And if we go to the absolutely different part, which role do you give in your music for the Oriental instruments?
Okay. Now, basically, most of my pieces, I use Oriental instruments. It's like kind of a fusion. It's like I feel I have both cultures embedded in me, the classical and the Oriental. So when I use Oriental, I rely a lot on using the oud, using the qanun, using the ney, sometimes the rababa, and I use the Arabic or the Khaliji percussions to formulate my music and infuse it with the classical kind of approach. So when you listen to my music, you feel that, yeah, that you listen to kind of classical contemporary infused with the world of Arabic and Oriental instrumentation. So I rely on these instruments a lot.
And
most
you
of the
also
time.
leave there a part to represent the UAE culture and traditions, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
How do you balance between Oriental, electronical sounds effect and classical academic music traditions in one piece, for example?
So I did maybe two or three pieces that has this kind of combination. I did a piece which is called Beyond Limits, which is Abu Dhabi Renaissance, which has electronic music, orchestral performance, full harmony, and with the Arabic instrumentations, or let's say the Khaliji instrumentations, the Emirati Khaliji instrumentations. And it takes you again into a journey. So yeah, why I've used this kind of style with this particular piece, because Abu Dhabi is a fast-growing city, and it relies a lot on technology and development and the high-rise building, at the same time rooted with heritage and rooted with culture. So that's the time where I use, these kind of fusion to showcase, the meaning of the music of it, like Abu Dhabi, or let's say Beyond Limits. It has these two kind of stories, the culture and the development. And there's another piece that I've used, which is called I forgot the name. Yeah, New Dawn.
New
That's
Dawn.
New Dawn.
Okay.
That's from my second album. This New Dawn is like, it's really an interesting piece because it again speaks to both generations. You can see a rap, hip hop singer versus an opera singer. So they are kindly singing together. And you can hear the oud, listen to the oud player playing there. So it's a fusion of so many styles all embedded together. So New Dawn,
It's a
yeah,
big monumental piece or more like miniature
it's more like an orchestral, a huge
orchestra,
piece. Yeah,
but it's
it's
not opera. It's orchestra with singers
operatic
ahead.
approach singer and rap hip hop singer as well. So they're doing a dialogue, and you will see, like, it's like kind of a beautiful scene. These two different, let's say, different genres, like being joined together on with an orchestra and with oud player. And it's like kind of an interesting piece, and it actually meant for the youth, for the young generation, to make them understand, about classical versus let's say the new music, which is the electronic music and the hip hop and the rap music.
You have another interesting
Yes, yes,
composition that
yes.
is called Symphony of Three.
That's right.
And so, can you tell a little bit about this background, about
Sure.
this piece, and what is the message in that piece,
Of course, of
and
course.
how it was received by audience?
Well, basically, that was one of the biggest projects, as very big production during Abu Dhabi Festival, which we have done last year. So this was inspired by the Abrahamic family house in Saadiyat Island.
The beautiful three
The beautiful,
buildings.
exactly,
Yes.
the synagogue, the church, and the mosque. This beautiful inspiration to showcase, peace, coexistence, love, and living in harmony all together. It's about, let's say, the three faiths. The dialogue between the three faiths. So inspired by this idea, and produced by Abu Dhabi Festival, and of course, this idea was was proposed to me by my manager Zofia Ijona. She brought this beautiful idea, and we managed to develop it together. And yeah, we proposed it to Abu Dhabi Festival, and we got the green light to create it. So we brought two composers from the film composers, John Debney and David Shire. So each one was assigned according to the faiths. For example, John Debney was assigned to the Christianity, and David Shire was assigned for Judaism, and I did the Islam part. And we brought the same orchestra. For me, it's like one of the best orchestras, which is the Beethoven Academy Orchestra from Poland, Krakow, and we brought 7 choirs from all over the world. From the Arabic world, from the Western world, from Scotland.
7 choirs at once?
Yes, from each one, from
on the
each
same
country.
concert? Or
No,
for the recording?
For the recordings, yeah.
Okay.
For the recording and for the performance. So
how many people?
So
we had?
350 people in total.
And each one from different country?
Yes, each one from different countries. So we have from Scotland, we have from Egypt, we have from South Africa, so we have from 7 countries. And we brought like amazing Class A stars, soloists, such as Tina Gu, such as Lebo Morak, such as Pedro Eustache, Elizabeth Scott, Aitash Dugan. We brought like the best names when it comes to soloists, like cellists, pianists, Pedro, we brought Pedro as well. And Simone as well on the piano, Sarah Anden playing the flute, Sheikh Mahmoud Tuhami on solo. We brought like great names, and we recorded them each from his country, like audio-wise, and even the video. And we managed to create a virtual replica of the Abrahamic family house as a digital kind of platform. And we located all the musicians with the orchestra and the choirs, all of them on this virtual stage. And the result was super amazing. We got approximately 1 hour and a half of music. So each composer has 30 minutes. So we create 4 movements of this symphony. The first movement speaks about Earth, the creation of mankind, and the creation of Earth. And then we started with Judaism, and then Christianity, and then Islam, based on the chronological, order of the faiths. And the dialogue between all these choirs and all these musicians was totally awesome. Like we received amazing feedback from all of the people. It was a very strong message from UAE to the world, to showcase, the coexistence, peace, love, and living in harmony. So that was the idea. It was showcased in Abu Dhabi Festival. Thanks for Her Excellency Huda Al Khamis Kanu for her continuous and unwavering support. To be honest, she believed in us. She gave us the platform, and we did it. It was like a great experience.
So it was like a peak moment of the mixing the art with the message of the tolerance and the diverse cultures in one country, and all was presented by
100%.
Abu Dhabi Festival in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, there is a strong message behind it, and the collaboration of the artist showcased this. So there is a plan actually to tour it. It's still under study to take this symphony and to tour it all over the world. Yeah, exactly. I remember this experience. It wasn't easy because we need to put all these big people in one platform. So I have to use again my visual computer skills, and direct it in a nice way. Of course, with the support of an amazing designers and directors to make this happen. You have to put certain guidelines for musicians so they can when they video shoot themselves, they need to be on a specific green screen with special lighting, special angles, special cameras, and same thing with audio
to make it look good on the screen.
Exactly, so they can look all consistent. And even though we found some variations, and we have to create solutions for these variations, and we manage them to make them look like they are all playing and synced perfectly together.
Well, I guess the editing guys were crazy about this.
It was a nightmare for them. It was a nightmare for them.
How many people did you include for the orchestra for that piece? It was a
For the
symphony
orchestra, it was 65.
65.
Yeah, approximately of
350 for the
65.
choir and few, and how many soloists?
Soloists, we have an approximately of 12 to
12.
14, 12 to 14
So
soloists. Yes,
almost
exactly.
500.
Almost 500 musicians.
Half
Yes,
thousand.
exactly. Half a thousand.
EMAI, you are the founder, president of Emirati Musicians Association.
That's right.
What it is? What is the purpose? What's about?
Well, this is a very important milestone for all of us as musicians here in the UAE. Now, this is an association which is an NGO, a non-profit organization, and it's the first ever music association in the UAE. So we created it in February 2023. It's we brought 18 founding members, Emirati founding members, musicians from different backgrounds, soloists, singers, producers, poets and stuff. So I brought them together, and we applied, to Department of Community to get the license for the association, and we got it. So we got the license. So this Emirati Musicians Association is meant for creating we, a voice for all musicians, bringing them all together. We as musicians, we need to feel that we are related to an entity, to an association that we feel that they are protecting us from rights, IP. They represent us, they help us, they position us on stages, they put us together, they create this fusion, they create this dialogue between different cultures. So the reason for creating this association is each one of us has his own challenges as a musician when we were young, rising from the UAE. And because of this, we want to help, the music scene, and to help the music culture in UAE to grow, and to be like sort of a link between all other musical entities. So we thought we create this association, and it really each one of us, it's kind of fulfilling a dream that we were having since long time, and we managed to fulfill this dream. And yeah, I mean, now we started it. We officially created our first concert 3 or 4 days ago in collaboration with.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. In collaboration with
So it's
Zayed.
still new, growing up,
Yeah,
new
exactly.
association, new
Exactly.
project, right?
Totally new project on collaboration with Zayed organization for people of determination. So we brought our members and the peoples of determination musicians from Zayed, and we created like a concert to celebrate music. It was 3 days ago. It was a beautiful concert, and this
that's
is
in
like
the capital.
it was in Abu Dhabi. In Abu Dhabi, in the Cultural Foundation. This is like, it's like kind of the result of all these efforts when you see all the musicians on this stage performing from different backgrounds, from different cultures, Emiratis with their kids, kids, adults, people of determination, musicians, different nationalities, all on one stage. This is one of the objectives of the Emirati Musicians Association, to put people together. Since we are living in UAE, it's the melting pot of cultures. So that's one of the things that we feel proud that we already achieved in the Emirati Musicians Association.
It's childhood
Yes.
of a musician. It's always hard. It's a risky step
Yes.
to do for a child, for a kid.
100%,
You don't
yeah.
know what would you expect.
That's correct.
You don't know how you will end up.
That's correct.
Where, how, when, like in which country. So it's all like casino.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Casino
right.
life.
Yeah, casino
Playing,
life.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the examples is like when we did this concert. So we brought kids, kids like, I mean, 10, 12, 13 years old kids playing on different instruments, playing on the piano, playing with their parents, with an orchestra. So they felt what is musician and how to be a musician.
You
and
give them motivation to continue and to be inspired to create better music.
100%. So this is the purpose. We inspire young generation. We work with beginners. We work with professionals. So it is for the society. It is for everyone. we can accept members from 18 years and above, and if they are below age, so they need to register with the Department of Community as trainees, and then as a volunteers trainees, and then they can register in the Emirati Musicians Association as, let's say, trainee. So we can give them a card which is trainee. So that's the beauty of the association. We felt that we are more closer to the society, more closer to the people, and even to the young generation. So they start to get more of music. They start to experience it on a big stage with audience and to feel the beauty and the energy of music. And this will help them, encourage them to pursue their,
That's very
their
important
education.
because sometimes you have thoughts, but am I doing right? Maybe I should change.
Yes.
I don't know what to expect from that. So these kind of concerts and projects brings the thought that no, I actually do right. This is my path. I want to do this.
Yes.
I want to be on the stage.
True.
I want to perform and to bring energy to people, because at the end of the day, music, art, any kind of art, it's to bring energy.
100%, 100%. And beside of this, even the young stars, the young musicians, the rising musicians, we help them to build their musical character. So how to deal with, with the audience, how to have a good image. Even we help them, we record for them
So you
audio,
educate them.
And even if they want to produce music or to produce a video, so we will be happy even to record for them. Any member that they will come and register with us, he's entitled for a 1 hour free recording studio and 1 hour free recording video as well.
Okay.
Yes, to create his first piece, so he can start actually start his, let's say, musical career and interest. And by creating these strategic partnerships with the studios here in the UAE, like we did like the latest strategic partnership with Halabi Studios in Dubai, we managed actually to get from him a good deal to record the audio and the video for these rising stars. So, and on a professional level, so they can feel that they have created, the starting point for them. So this is what we are doing. We are creating these strategic partnerships with studios, with government entities, with musical, entities to help build the bridges and shorten the gaps, between let's say, the society and music.
What have been some of you most memorable collaboration in the past years?
Well, to be completely honest, each collaboration has its own, let's say, has its own flavor, has its own memory in me. I don't know, but I feel like one of the most memorable one is with the famous Lebanese singer Sami Clark. Um, because Sami Clark, I used to love his voice when I was a child. I was, yeah, I'm a big fan of Japanese anime, and the famous one, which is the Grandizer. I don't know if you know it, Gold Drake. They call it maybe in other European word. So I used to love this music a lot, and when I grew up and I started creating my albums and started my musical career, have rearranged this music in a very big symphonic way, and I reached out for him. So I was really looking up for him when I was a kid, and when I grew up, I managed to reach to him, to reach to him and ask him, "Will you be able to record this?" So he traveled. Then we met, both of us, in Poland, in Krakow, and he came and he performed it. It was a beautiful memory. We recorded with 160 musicians from the orchestra, and we managed to put it on YouTube. It reached now approximately, I think, 2 million hits on YouTube. And I felt it has a sentimental kind of effect on me. It's like when I was a child, I was looking up for him. I grew up. I managed to work with him.
You met him when you
And I
when
met
you
him
grow,
when I
when
grew
you
up.
grew
Yes,
up.
exactly. And we managed to create this piece. And I did another piece with him, which is called Laulaki, which is if you translate it in English, without you, like I cannot live without you, or I cannot breathe without you. So it's Laulaki, and we created it for the world of females. It has more than 20 to 25 Arabic names mentioned in this poet, with the famous Lebanese poet Ghazi Murad. And we gave it to Sammy Clark, and he performed it beautifully with the same orchestra. And it's part of my first album, Waves of My Life. So I felt Sammy Clark is that's the most sentimental kind of memory to me. Yeah, with this kind of collaboration. I love Tchaikovsky a lot. I'm in love with Tchaikovsky. I'm in love with Beethoven, Bach, you know. So these, yeah, I feel that I love from classical compositions and film like Hans Zimmer, James Horner, uh, Nino Rota, you know, from The Godfather. Yeah, and Bill Conti. He was one of the composers in the Bob Peaks. You know, the last one which I did in Disney in the States. So yeah, I mean, it's a combination of classical versus film composers. Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, God bless his soul. Um, he was the inspiration for us. He was the father of us all. Um, all success we have, we relate this to him. You know, all the UAE people relate all the successes to him, and I had just to contribute. You know, as a music composer, I need to contribute with this to at least pay back a little bit. You know, for his wisdom, for what he did for us. So I created one piece which is named Desert Night, which is in my first album, which is called Waves of My Life, and it speaks about the story of Sheikh Zayed, the story how he united the seven Emirates, how he created, let's say, the theme, the call of unity. So what I did in this piece, I created the call and it's like a theme for unity by using the duduk instrument, which is it has a lot of emotions and a lot of vibrato, and the technique makes it really very close to your heart. So I created this Desert Night piece showcasing the story of Sheikh Zayed from the moment he called for unity and the development of the UAE until he left us. So it was like kind of an emotional story, showing his strong, you know, how strong he is by uniting us, and how he created put all the seven Emirates together until he left us sadly. So I feel this is like one of the best epic pieces that I did for like in my first album, and I feel in my career, because it has a lot of sentimental effect to my heart, which is for Sheikh Zayed.
You are composer, pianist. Do you play some other instruments,
Accordion.
perhaps
I play accordion, a
accordion?
little bit of guitar.
You mentioned duduk. You
Duduk,
chose very like rare instrument. Do you play?
beautiful.
Did you play
No,
it for
no,
that?
no, I don't play
You
it.
gave that
Yeah,
to
yeah,
someone
yeah.
else.
But
It's a very loud instrument.
yes. My friend Pedro Eustache, he's the famous duduk player. I'm sure you know it. Who
And he
played?
recorded
He
for the
record. He
Desert Night.
recorded not for the Desert Night. He recorded for the Symphony of Three.
Symphony of Three. There
Symphony
is
of Three.
also duduk.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. There's a lot of duduk there. A lot of duduk moments, and it's a very dear instrument to me. I loved it because of this guy, because the way he played it. You know, he played it, and even another friend of mine, which is named Arsen. Arsen is from Armenia. Usually, this duduk is originated from Armenia, and those two people made me love this instrument a lot. And of course, because Pedro Eustache, he played for all the movies, you know, played with Hans Zimmer tour, and so he has a very specific and unique skills in playing this instrument. So that's why I'd love to collaborate. I
Yeah,
collaborated with him on many occasions.
What would you say as a message for the young generation, for the for those who wants to be a musician, or for those who already took this path
Right.
and want to continue to grow up as musician?
Now, of course, they need not to fear their dreams. Uh, they have to sacrifice. They have to go all the way, to believe in themselves. This is like something very important, and the UAE is creating a lot of opportunities. Now, what UAE is doing now, by creating the association and all these musical projects, and bringing a lot of programs and repertoires from all over the world. So there is a great deal of music now in the UAE, and there's great opportunities, and there are areas where they will be supported. They will be supported in many ways. So believe in themselves. They need to believe in themselves. They need to go all the way. And even I need to encourage even the parents, not only the young, to encourage them to really put them on the right way if they have this passion. So that's the message that I wanted to give.
Thank you for this
Thank you.
great interview with a lot of interesting stories, projects. I hope to see you soon again.
Thank you very much for this beautiful interview. I really loved it, and hopefully we'll see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.